Welcome everybody to another day, another time, and another place. But we right here on Beautiful Things Come From Struggle podcast. And today I got a beautiful human being, man, an OG, a good man, a good brother. And I've known him for quite some time, and his name is Larry Williams. And he is a black man who is in the military. And he's going to tell us a little bit about himself and everything that he went through in the military. And so therefore, folks, here we go. So, Mr. Larry Williams, could you please let everybody know a little bit about yourself, my brother?
All right, I could easily do that since we're talking about myself. Just like he said, my name is Larry Williams. I am a black man who served in the forces with guards our country and our way of life. I was prepared to give my life in their defense. Believe that's one of the creeds of being a soldier. But I was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, primarily Columbia Point area. I lived there just about all my childhood life. At the age of 17, after completing high school, I decided to join the military. One of the main reasons that I decided to join the military, as black men, we had a lot of struggles, especially where I was born and raised. A lot of struggles. And I wanted to change my environment. I wanted to experience something different. So I decided to go in the military. I went in the military at the ripe age of 17.
Okay. So how did that take place? Like, because I remember when I was coming up in high school, they used to come into the high schools with their uniforms, all in them dress blues and stuff, and talk about how the military was the place to go. So where did you go, and how did that take place?
Well, that did happen too. They did visit my school. I went to my high school was Boston Trade High School in Roxbury. They visit the school, and what they were selling, pretty much interested me, locked me in. I was intrigued, and I always wanted to go. After that one visit, believe it or not, I went to the recruiter station. I took a test. The test, developed some type of scoring system, and they would basically tell me exactly what I'll be doing in the military, which was to be a mechanic. They couldn't tell me exactly where I was going to go, but they did tell me where I was going to be going to training, which was Fort Lawsonwood, Missouri, which is Fort Leonardwood, Missouri. Now, here goes a city boy going out to the country, dealing with a lot of adversity, and different nature, you had different kind of peoples. It was kind of rough for me. And the reason why I say that, because there was a lot of racism going on. A little black kid from the city amongst all these white folks that were kind of, didn't like black folks. It was kind of hard for me to integrate myself to what was going on. But hey, I superred and I overcome. It was kind of hard for me.
Yeah, I think that I remember some people, I think they were from the Nation of Islam or other people, they were saying that, the military wasn't for a black man or a black woman, man. And I can see, because I've heard numerous stories about Vietnam veterans and the treatment that they had, and also reading about veterans from World War II and also the Korean War, about the mistreatment and the racism that was inflicted upon our soldiers. And for me, I find it upsetting because you guys served our country. You protected us, from certain things. But what I want to ask you is that did you have the opportunity to travel abroad, and where did you go, and what did you experience?
Well, that's one thing that I can say that I did a lot was I traveled abroad. Um, I did serve exactly 26 years in the military, so
Whew.
I had the I had the opportunity to go to a lot of places. Um, I'll start overseas first. I was stationed in Germany on 3 different occasions. A place called Karlsruhe, West Germany. A place called Cape Town. Well, that's what they call it, Cape Town, but it's called Kaiserslautern, um, West Germany, and then a place called Munster, West Germany.
Mm.
I've also had the opportunity to go to Jerusalem because of my military background, traveling there during special cases. I've also been I had 2 conflicts, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've all, I've also been to Japan. I've also been to a place called Djibouti, Africa. That was actually a staging area prior to going to the Gulf War.
Mm.
Uh, I've been just about every place, every little state duty station here in the United States. Um,
Mm.
Fort Hood, Texas, Fort Benning, Georgia, Aberdeen Proving Grounds, Maryland, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Fort Hood, Texas, California, Fort Irwin, um, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Just about every place I can possibly go to and on an Army installation. Um, I've been there,
Wow.
and
Wow.
simply for the reason because of the type of person that I was. You know,
Okay then.
I was trying to be everything that I can.
Okay then. And to be quite frankly honest with you, you are one of the most humble, sincere gentlemen that I know. Um, and I have the utmost respect for you, not just because you serve this country, but for the role that you play in a lot of people's lives, especially those that are close to me. And so I have to salute you for that. Um,
Thank you,
can you?
thank you.
It, absolutely, my brother. Can you tell us a little bit about your military credentials, if there are some?
My military what? I'm sorry.
Credentials. Credentials.
Okay, yep. Um, well, being that I served 26 years, so I had the opportunity to do a lot. And believe me, guys, that all the things that I've done, I've earned it. Now, I went from private to sergeant in a matter of 2 years. Normally, that takes the average person 3 to 4 years, but I did it in 2. I went from sergeant to staff sergeant probably um, a year later. That's that was somewhat unheard of. I went from staff sergeant to sergeant first class in about 5 years after that, and then 3 years
Mm.
after that, I went to um, sergeant first class to master sergeant. Now during these times, you know, uh, you always gotta go to certain schools to make sure that you're qualified to have a primary leadership development course. I excelled during that course. They have a advanced non-commissioned officer course. I excelled through that. You know, always graduating number one. And then, you know, throughout my military career, you know, I've done so much, you know, in helping soldiers and training soldiers to the point, you know, where I was even recognized doing a lot of things and receiving high military honors. You know, uh, a lot of black guys like me, you don't see with, you know, coming out of there with prestigious award. My highest one being the Silver Star.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
yeah,
What?
and
What?
I have, but
No, that's yeah. I didn't even know none of this, man. I'm learning a lot more about you, man, and honestly, man, like I already respected you, but I have a lot more respect for you, my brother.
yeah,
Um,
I don't brag about it, but yeah, I got a Silver Star.
I like I like your humility. One thing I want to ask because you know my grandfather was a veteran. He was in World War II. But one thing, like he would tell me, even though there was a lot of atrocities and difficult times, he had some fond memories while in service. Could you like briefly like just say like maybe one or two fun or fond memories that you had while you were serving in your 26 years in the military?
I most certainly can. Um, I'm gonna say one good one and one bad. Would that be okay?
Okay, absolutely, brother.
Well, I recall one time in Saudi Arabia. Um, I'm gonna start with the bad first, and then end with the good. It's actually
Okay.
something good turns out about it too. But I'm actually on patrol. Um, Me being a high-ranking official, master sergeant, had a driver, staff sergeant. I'm out on patrol, and we're on a mission, and we came upon a accident. Now, this is pretty much during the heated battle of war, but we was kind of like on the outskirts of it. There were four Saudi Arabians turned over in a vehicle. My driver
Mm.
asked me, he said, "Hey, what do you want to do? You want to stop and help them?" I said, "No, we need to go ahead." He said, "I think we should help them." So we stopped and we helped these guys. Unfortunately, the accident was real bad. We was only able to save one person out of the four.
Oh man.
So we brought them to the we brought that one person to the hospital, dropped them off, we kept it moving. I got back to my headquarters, and you know I had to report my mission on what happened. Why it took me a long time to get back from point A to point B, and then to C. My command was really upset that we actually stopped to help somebody. I almost got reprimanded because of it. So, I I figured that I was doing something good and helpful. You know, what if that was me and for my soldiers, something like that, and somebody was coming by, I would expect them to help me. So
Mm.
I never did get in trouble, but it came close. And that was the only bad
Mm.
time that I had in the military that I really didn't like.
Wow.
Now I could now I could tell you a good time that came over it. Now I was in a situation where I have actually saved my whole platoon. We were in a convoy, and I don't remember the name of the movie that came out. They made a series about it, but it had something to do with my convoy being lost. And I have to say, yes, we did get lost, but it was a good thing because the convoy ahead of us got ambushed. And these are truly dear friends of mine. They got ambushed. And mostly everybody that got ambushed was killed. Now, us not knowing, because we got lost, we lost communication, we lost everything. But we was, for some reason, we got right back on track. So in the end, it was a convoy that was falling that went the wrong way, but we didn't. So we made it back, and we made it to our next location where we needed to be in a safe manner. So basically, I did the right choice, by getting lost and getting back on track. I saved my whole platoon's lives, including myself. Because if I would have stayed with that convoy, took the wrong turn, got ambushed, it could have happened to me.
Thank God for that, brother, because I wouldn't have met you, man, and I wouldn't have the privilege, and the thousands of people that are going to hear this interview wouldn't have the opportunity to hear your stories. And not only that, but get to know you and how special a human being you are, man. Real quick, because we're running out of time, but say a 15-year-old kid comes to you and says, listen, do you think I should join the military? And he's from the projects of Roxbury or Dorchester or Brockton or New Bedford or Providence, Rhode Island, wherever. What would you say, yes or no?
I would say, kid, follow your heart. What do you want to do? If you think that you can make it in the military, because there's a lot of things that you're going to have to go through. Follow your heart. I'm not going to tell somebody no. I'm not going to tell them yes. Follow their heart. That's what I did.
Okay, then. Well, Brother Larry Williams, I want to thank you so much for the opportunity you have given me and the opportunity that you've given other people to listen to you onto Beautiful Things Come From Struggle podcast. You certainly do represent a beautiful thing that has come from struggles and has been in your life. And I commend you, I salute you, and I thank you for your service for this country, and also I thank you for being a pillar in the community. And I'm so thankful, for everything that you do for all of us. And with that, I also want to just take the time to tell you all that we're not here to preach, we're just here to reach. And I want you guys to continuously come on and listen to the Beautiful Things Come From Struggle podcast as we aim to just bring some high quality, good conversation. With that, I say peace.